Hi everyone, it's Silly Girl Blue back with another video. Today I want to talk about the situation happening in Canada with Canada Post, which is their main mailing service or mailing courier in Canada. If you want to use like FedEx or UPS to ship something international, it's going to cost you like $30 for letter mail, where Canada Post it's like $8. So this is a big problem for a lot of Canadians, so let's talk about the issue. So the workers of Canada Post are striking because they want better pay and overall just better working conditions, but they're also pushing to receive gender affirming care, and they're upset about having to give up paid breaks. I don't even think they get paid breaks now, so I don't know why they would be upset about not having them. Most people that work in like a fast food industry or other privatized companies know that you usually get 2 15-minute unpaid breaks in the span of your 8-hour shift. According to labor laws, they must give a 15-minute break for every 4 hours worked. So an hour-long lunch or a paid lunch hour is actually a major luxury, usually reserved for jobs where you actually have to have a certain type of skill. And the fact that the Canada Post workers and their union are doing this right around Christmas time is really absolutely vile, because they're affecting so many small businesses across Canada, which were already so impacted during COVID in those years. And they're also affecting just the everyday Canadian as well during this holiday season. And like when you really start to think about it, some people get their child tax checks through the mail, and they rely on that money to feed and house their families. Some elderly people rely on the mail to get the medication they need to survive. So this strike is so much bigger than just the Canada Post workers, and they are being so selfish. We can also declare that they are being selfish and unreasonable because they were offered multiple solid deals from Canada Post, and the employees and the union actually declined several of these promising proposals. Let's talk about some of the changes that Canada Post was thinking to implement to help match the best they can with what the employees are asking for. Because to be fair, the employees are being pretty unreasonable, and Canada Post is actually being reasonable and giving solid ideas, or starting points at least, of improvements that they could make, that every company could look into making. Let's start here. Wage increases. Canada Post proposed annual wage increases totaling 11.5% over 4 years. The union found this offer to be insufficient, advocating for wage hikes aligned with inflation and the integration of cost of living adjustment payments into the basic wage rate. No offense, but do these employees think that Canada Post has endless amounts of money? Like, there are reasons why other companies also can't afford to increase wages that much, other than just greediness. Think of all the packages and employees that Canada Post is managing, all the business expenses that the average day employee probably doesn't understand or even see happen. An 11.5% increase over 4 years shows there was obviously a little room in the budget, or perhaps they're expecting to increase costs of shipping to offload this extra expense, or they were also talking about offering weekend delivery as another way to help pay this expense. But these people also do not work a special type of job. There is no reason for them to demand some sort of pay or luxuries like these ones they're asking for. Like, a 14-year-old could do your job, and they would probably like it more and complain less than you. So, pension plans. The corporation suggested that future employees be enrolled in a defined contribution pension plan, differing from the current defined benefit plan. The union opposed this change, emphasizing the importance of retirement security for all members. And I can agree that I do think there should be options of pension plans for part-time workers, because sometimes people can only work part-time because they have a lot on their plates. Think of like moms or something that maybe have to work 2 part-time jobs just for flexibility reasons. And it's not fair that a part-time employee of 5 years can't reap the same benefits as a full-time worker of 5 years. And I feel like if you opt in to pay your dues, then there should be the option for all long-term employees to have a pension plan. Like, there would need to be strict rules and probably just a regular process in order to become a part of these plans. But at the end of the day, it would really just mean more deductions for whoever wants to be on the plan. Okay, and they also offered delivery model changes. So Canada Post aimed to implement a more flexible delivery model, including weekend parcel deliveries and adaptable staffing during the week to enhance competitiveness in the e-commerce market. The union expressed concerns that these changes could compromise regular full-time weekday routes and potentially lead to job cuts. Okay, if these crazy ass people think that they're all keeping their jobs after this performance, I think they're sadly mistaken. If Canada Post had any sense, they would start by firing all their lazy employees and hire new, younger, about college-aged kids looking for a more part-time experience, and then have a nice rotation of part-time employees filling out the weekly schedule. Canada Post could even team up with Canadian colleges and universities as an incentive to hire students. Benefits for future employees. The corporation proposed a flexible benefits plan for future hires, which would shift more costs and risks onto employees. Additionally, new employees would need to work 1,000 hours as regular employees before accessing benefits and pension plans. The union rejected these proposals, advocating for equitable benefits for all members. I just mentioned this above, and I was definitely not expecting such a great proposal here, but it's nonsense to give benefits to employees who could just quit the next day. It could cause insurance fraud with it just being like that willy-nilly where anyone could get it. So I think that the Canada Post union and employees need to be much more reasonable here. And like speaking on the extra costs and risks that the employees will take with this, if they want to be able to choose packages based on insurances, then they're the ones deciding what they're willing to pay into. I understand they feel they shouldn't have to pay so much for insurance, but it's normal that both employee and employer will pay the same amount into insurance on each paycheck. Okay, here for job security and staffing here. So like all of these things are ways that Canada Post is looking to improve, and the union is being so rude and just like hard to deal with. Hard to reason with. So job security and staffing. The union sought to extend job security provisions to rural suburban mail carriers and raised concerns about Canada Post staffing flexibility proposals, which included hiring more part-time staff for weekend deliveries. The union argued that such measures could erode full-time positions and negatively impact working conditions. So the employees are basically begging that all full-time workers get treated like they're the only ones that can run Canada Post. Only the people working there now can deliver mail this well and package it up nice and don't have to do any real groundbreaking hard work to get a paycheck. Some of these people literally get paid for walking. Getting paid to walk would be some people's dreams. If you don't feel like doing that type of activity for the wage that it is, then quit. And why are they against hiring weekend workers? How else do the full-time employees expect the weekends off, but still get packages delivered? It doesn't make any sense. They really need to chill the fuck out and realize that if you did something that would make you hard to replace as a job, then yeah, maybe your employer could treat you better. But a Canada Post worker literally doesn't do shit that is special, so they should just sit down, shut up, and get back to the mail. Whoever is running the union as well in the mediation room is a bitch too. Their responses are literal shit. Maybe they should give a response that includes a solution or resolution in it. To not be able to meet halfway is so weird and childish. Do they think that Canada Post doesn't have financial struggles either? The entire country is having financial struggles right now because the Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, never ever leads his country. What has Justin Trudeau come out and said about any of this happening? He has literally said nothing. He is exactly like Kamala Harris, too dumb to let speak on camera. A good Prime Minister would have said, listen, Canadians already pay insane taxes. The least they deserve is to receive their mail, which includes medications, checks, all the other stuff people get in the mail during the holiday season. So I know this perfect businessman, and I have chosen him to take over Canada Post operations for the time being. And everyone that is recently employed at Canada Post that wants to continue working, you can come into work. And besides that, fuck off. And if anyone is looking for a job, please come by any Canada Post and hand in your resume. You will get a call back within the next 2 days. And then a smart CEO would look to make connections with universities and colleges to get honest part-time student workers. And if they made these changes, plus continue to elaborate and move forward on implementing some of the changes that we were discussing above, they could end up with a very loyal worker base and with mail moving swiftly and cheaply around the country and around the world. Unfortunately, Canada is literally falling apart at the seams thanks to Trudeau's government. If you are a Canadian, please vote for your country. And please make sure when you vote, you're thinking about you and your children's financial futures. The future of buying a house or even retiring. Look deeper than your sour emotions. And if you are a proud Canadian and you are annoyed by the greediness of Canada Post Union and employees striking and their lack of respect for serious jobs, please let me know in the comments because I would love to have a little discussion about this. All right, bye.